Okay, I wanted to make a video, a new video about my new book, The Stone in Your Hand. A book about shamanism, mysticism, and dreams. Here it is. I don't know if you can see it. I just received my author copies. So this is what I wrote. I will put this in the description, the whole thing. This is what I wanted to share with you. Just a few bits and pieces from the book. So, there is a knowing that lives beneath thought, exactly. A silence that holds the world, a dream that dreams through us all. This is the opening of the book I have written. A companion for those who have sensed that there is more. More than the daily round, more than the voices in your head. More than the world that presents itself as solid and separate. The book is called The Stone in Your Hand. And this passage from chapter 5 speaks of how the sacred arrives, not when we call it, but when it chooses. Exactly, I've spoken about this so many times, that the experience, the mystic experience, you can try to summon it, but it's not going to happen, when you want it. It happens when it happens. And this is what I said about this from chapter 5 from the new book. Yeah? The mystical experience is not something you can summon, command, or achieve. Exactly. It is not a reward for diligent practice, a prize for the most dedicated meditator. It is an uninvited guest. It arrives, as Rumi said, out of the great laughter, or a great silence, or a great sorrow. It bursts through the door of your neatly ordered house, trailing mud and starlight, turning over the furniture of your assumptions and painting the walls with colors you have no name for. Yeah. It is not polite, it is not comfortable, and it is utterly, blindingly real. Yeah. I'll give you some examples in a moment of how this happens. I mean, I have been speaking about this for years, but I'll give you more examples. So the book unfolds in 3 parts. So you have the 3 parts is your preparation, experience, and integration. Yeah. So it unfolds in 3 parts. First, the foundation, learning to sit in the silence, to open the inner senses to listen to the wisdom of the body. I should have my glasses on, but it's holding up my hair, otherwise I'll have hair in my face. Then the mystical experience itself, the uninvited guest, the wound, the descent, the descent, the return. Here I'm calling it the descent, going down. But a lot of times when you're having archetypal dreams, when you actually go up, you ascend to the upper level, what I call it, the upper level of the collective mind. That you ascend to the center. Yeah? And I've given you lots of examples about this. The uninvited guest opens up the wound, the descent, the return. So the return is when you learn how to live with all this, what you have experienced. And finally, living the dream, exactly. How to carry what you have found into ordinary life, how to serve, how to keep the heart open when the world invites you to close. Exactly. You hold something in your hand, a stone. This, by the way, is my stone. See? It's very similar to the one that I'm holding on the cover. Can you see? I designed the cover, by the way. The whole thing is me. Book, editing, cover. You hold something in your hand, a stone. Not the one from my cave. That one is mine. You have to read the book to find out why. This one is yours. Found on your own path, in your own time. The stone is waiting. It has always been waiting. Exactly. So we finish off with the stone is in your hand. The door is open. So I'll put all this under the video anyway. So I'll finish these few things from my book with this quote. If these words stir something in you, please share them. Share them with someone who needs to be reminded that they are not alone. Exactly. You're not alone in this. You're not alone, first of all, because the Spirit is always there with you to help you. Yeah? It's always there, ready. You have to ask and stay with the question until you're answered. What do we know? The answer is your asking for help is finally answered. Do you remember my dream? I talk about this in the book actually. When I had symptoms, physical symptoms, I was sick, and I didn't want to go. It wasn't really worth me going to the doctors. I wanted to be healed of the symptoms. So I stayed with the question, and I had a dream in where I entered a room, an old room with a man, you know, the archetypal wise old man was sitting there, and he examined me and he said, "This is what you have to do." And I did that. I woke up in the morning, I remembered what happened, I did it, and the symptoms went away. They didn't want to go away by themselves. I don't know what the doctor would have said. They probably would have just put me on antibiotics or something, like they usually do. But when I was shown the inner self, the Spirit showed me the answer, the symptoms went away nearly immediately. I implemented the solution. So when you stay with the question, when you want to know something, the Spirit is there. It will always help you. Yeah? Do you remember the time when, years and years ago, when I woke up in the middle, usually woke up around 3. We usually woke up around 3. That's when the time when finally I would say have the ego has let go so much about that time that the Spirit, the inner self, can begin to communicate with us. So I woke up around 3, and and I see this face floating above me. The same face of that divine person, what I call in my wayward dream, the single dream, Lady Soul. And there she was floating on my left side. I was lying in bed, all dressed in white, big dark eyes, and she looked at me and she said, "Marek, don't lose the Spirit, and I will show you everything you're looking for." Yeah? So it's incubation of your energy inward. You beautify it. You know, you lift it up, your spine, your chakra systems, you lift it up through your heart, through your throat, through your inner eye, up to crown. You lift up through the instincts, the 3 instincts that are holding us back most are your first 3 chakras, you know, your hoarding, your sex or reproduction, and your power, the solar plexus. So the 3, you lift, if you can manage to lift that energy up to your heart, then something new happens. And that's what she meant. Don't lose the Spirit to the 3 lower chakras. Lift it up, beautify it, sublimate it, and I will show you everything you're looking for. You incubate the energy. It flows inward. Yeah? And then it is born within you in the images of the old man, the wise old man, the inner self, the guide. She's that image. She's the beautified Kundalini, if you like. She's the sublimated Kundalini that then becomes your helpful guide in life. I don't remember exactly what happened then, how that happened, but it happened and it worked. So she, that was her instructions to me. So that's the book I'm talking. I wrote the book in response to a dream I had that instructed me years ago now. Where We Dream the Single Dream is a really good book. I'll show you Where We Dream the Single Dream. Yeah, it's a really good book and it's still selling. However, what the dream said, the words are wrong. In other words, it was too much depth psychology and archetypal images in there. People don't understand that, they can't relate to it. So in response to this, I wrote this, The Stone in Your Hand. The language is a lot more Main Street, if you like. I avoid using too much depth psychology, mythology, archetypal, describing archetypal images and experiences. like my journeying into the cave. Remember me from Where We Dreamed the Single Dream? I was afraid to enter the cave. She was inviting me, come, and I couldn't until I did. And that was the revelation that she showed me inside the cave. Initiation. I avoid all of these really deep things. This is what we can call the ascent into the upper level of the collective mind. In this book, I call it the descent, which is the same thing. In our cultures, our religion, our spiritual culture, if you like, the humanity spiritual culture, in the beginning, before we had the Abrahamic religions, the afterlife, the collective mind, if you like, the center, was a descent into the afterlife, into the world of the spirit. So that still lives deep within us. But in dreams, in archetypal dreams, you'll be seeing as an ascent. But most people understand it as a descent. So I talk about that in the book as well. Yeah. I'll give you another example with when you ask for help, the help comes. I was walking with my dog Charlie. Charlie passed away last year, September. I was walking with my dog Charlie. We're renting a room not too far from, renting a room anyway, it's not important where. And I was wondering, I'm in a place where it's not really right for me to work, to do my work, my spiritual work especially, to be studying, to be reading books and studying. I needed to study to understand there were a few more pieces missing from my work for me to be fully conscious. It was years and years ago. And there I am working, and I have walking with Charlie. Charlie's in front of me. We're walking on a path, and a bike, someone on a push bike just rides, past me, and I hear, clearly hear, you got to go there, there, and there. And I remembered that. A week later, I show up where the biker, where the person riding the push bike said, I don't know, there was a woman, I don't know whether she was talking to someone on the phone or not, but what she said was important to me, and it turned out to be the right place for me to do my work. Most of my work, all of my work has been done there really now. I needed a place, a quiet, a safe place. It wasn't always quiet and safe. It's not always a quiet and safe all the time, but it's mostly a place where I can be left alone to do what I have to do, the work that I do for you, the books that I write, the social media things that I do. Yeah, so that's how it works, and I speak about this in this book as well. But so the book is a result of a dream that I had, that I need to write something which is going to be easier for people to understand. The Where We Dream, The Single Dream is an excellent book. It goes right into what you need to know, but it requires the knowledge of some mythology and depth psychology. Here you don't. It's easy, anyone can read it. It's like I read to you the few bits and bobs that I wrote in there. Probably chapter 5, the uninvited guest seems to be the most popular quote from there. I shared that with you before, but there are lots of others. I'll do another video, maybe we'll do another quote from the book and so on. Yeah, so that's the reason, that's what I wanted to actually introduce you to, the new book. Yeah, it's on Amazon. There will be a link in the description under the video. It's in paperback, and I also did ebook in Kindle. The ebook is really affordable. If you don't, I think the paperback is $25, the ebook is $4. So it's affordable for everyone. That's it. That's just an introduction into the book. Today will be a quicker video, and I hope you, if you do read it and you find it helpful, please let me know. It's important that I know that I get some feedback that it was helpful, that you read it and you found it easy to read and so on. Okay? So please let me know under the video, contact me. There will be, my details are always in the description. Contact me through email or on Facebook, wherever it is that you're watching me from. Yeah? And let me know because it's important. I can do some changes if required. Yeah? Okay, well, that's it for today, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.